So last night I was watching a TV show, and it's about a space cruise. These people are on a space cruise that's supposed to be like 8 weeks long, and the trajectory gets off, and so suddenly they're not going to get back for 3 years. And like the very first thing I thought was, oh my God, 3 years. Like I would never have brought enough yarn to be gone that long. Like if I was going to be gone for 8 weeks, I would bring so much yarn. Like I would probably bring 6 months worth of yarn, but 3 years, like if I was stuck any place for 3 years, I would be knitting stuff, and then I would have to like tear it apart and reknit it, to just so I could knit every day still. I'm Tracy Kluver Bezerra, and I am a knitter, spinner, podcaster, and general fiber enthusiast. My mother was the one who urged me to start. She and I have shared lots of hobbies over our lives. Back in the 90s, I got her going on scrapbooking for a while, and then she started knitting, and I was just doing the needlepoint, and she was like, oh, you need to learn how to knit. You have to learn how to knit. And I saw how obsessed with it she was, for lack of a better word, and but she kept saying it, and I said, no, I'm not going to learn. I'm not going to do that because I'll get as obsessed with it as you are. So she finally left me. She brought me a kit. It was a learn to knit a scarf and hat kit. So she said, next time I see you, I'm gonna teach you how to do this. I said, okay. And like within 3 days, it was beginning to like call to me. So I opened it up. That night I taught myself how to cast on and how to do the knit stitch, and that was it. That was, from then on, I was just as obsessed as I expected to become with it. And everything's going to start with my mom, because she's really the one who got me started on all of this. At various times over the next few months, she said, I've had people tell me I should start doing a podcast, and she kept saying, I think I want to do this. And I said, that's great. You should totally do a podcast if you want to. And then one day she sent me an email and she said, I really want to do this and I think we should do it. And I finally went, oh, she wants to do it with me. She hadn't said that before. So I called her up and said, yeah, let's absolutely do it. I had been knitting for a year and a half. And so we got together, and now we have been doing this for 8.5 years. We've recorded over 200 episodes. And it's been a really fun project to do with my mom. I have spent more time with her in the last 10 years than I had, probably since I lived in the same house with her when I was growing up. We see each other, we talk a lot, and we see each other at least a couple times a month. We go to knitting retreats, and we spend days together on those kinds of things. And it's really a very cool kind of thing to share with my mom. I have also met friends in knitting groups and other podcasters. And just when you find out who is local to you, you can meet up. I have a great knitting group that I started with a good friend of mine who lives nearby. We started a knitting group in Sacramento about 4 years ago, and we started it just with people that we knew locally and from events that we had gone to, but it's attracted some really great people just from the area, and we had originally said we were going to just do it once a month, but it's so much fun. We meet almost every weekend on Saturday afternoons. And of course, since we've been quarantined with the coronavirus, people really miss getting together. And of course, lots of people are using FaceTime and Zoom and different video, conferencing services to be able to connect. And I've had lots and lots of knitting dates and groups, whether you're sitting there with someone online or in a pub or whatever, it's what are you knitting, and it's just as social, and that's been a really nice thing for when we are having to stay away from each other like we are right now. I have been knitting bears for the Mother Bear Project since really within the first 6 months that I started knitting. It was started by a woman named Amy Berman she lives in Minnesota, and she has made it possible for over 150,000 bears, hand knitted and crocheted bears, to be distributed to children in countries that are affected by AIDS. Most of them have gone to Africa, and you can look at they take a picture of every child who gets a bear, and you can look through this gallery of these beautiful children with these bears that have been made for them. I've made over 200 bears for the Mother Bear Project. I love to make bears. It's just a really wonderful thing to be able to make a bear and realize that, you're bringing joy to a child, giving them something that they've never had before, and it's a one-of-a-kind bear. And then the other charity that I knit for is called Knitted Knockers, and that is you use specific cotton, like nice cotton yarns, to knit prostheses for women who have had mastectomies due to breast cancer. My mom is a breast cancer survivor, and we really like knitting for that charity. And we were talking to the woman who started Knitted Knockers at Stitches this year, and she said they're distributing, I hope I get this right, but I think she said they're distributing 8,000 of them a month worldwide. So